Cathedral and John Connon School, our school. A symbol of excellence for 150 years, rooted in a legacy that goes back much further in time, cradled by a church built almost 300 years ago, embraced by a city of infinite opportunity, witness to the world's most defining events. Cathedral's legacy is intertwined with Mumbai's exciting and tumultuous history, through which the school came through always steady and unwavering. Meet the founders of this heritage. They will tell the story of a vibrant and enduring institution, the Cathedral and John Connon School.
The preamble 1718, the Bombay Fort. The British settlement of the East India Company is growing. The chaplain, Reverend Richard Cobb, worked for 3 long years to build a church in the fort. On Christmas Day 1718, the governor of the presidency inaugurated Bombay's first church. And so was born St. Thomas's Cathedral, a place for prayer and reflection, pivotal for the school. Young choristers sang at St. Thomas's Cathedral. Reverend Cobb dreamt of educating them in manners and morals. For this he established a choir school in the vestry of the church, later called the Old Charity School, a forerunner to and an inspiration for the cathedral school you know today.
(1860). The Old Charity School has moved to Baikala. The Bombay Fort needs a school affiliated to the church. Bishop Harding and the chaplain of the cathedral open a grammar school at Rampart Row in the fort. It's the 14th of November, 1860, a date that every cathedralite celebrates as Founders' Day. Meanwhile, Reverend Duncan Macpherson and Mr. John Connon, noted city barrister, editor, businessperson, led the Bombay Scottish Education Society. The society established a consortium of schools: the Baikala School, the Fort Scottish School, and the John Connon School.
And so, the many strands of the Cathedral and John Connon School, as we know it today, took root. In 1878, the Bombay Diocesan Baikala School merged with the Cathedral Choir School and the Fort Christian Schools to form the Cathedral School for Boys and Girls.
In 1880, the Girls' School was established, now the Cathedral Middle School. A year later, in 1881, the new Scottish John Connon High School was inaugurated, fashionably situated opposite Queen Victoria's statue on the Esplanade. The John Connon School, now the Cathedral Junior School, became part of the Cathedral family in 1922 in a happy merger that formed the Anglo-Scottish Education Society. Finally, in 1896, the new Cathedral Boys High School on Outram Road was inaugurated, an edifice that proudly stands today as the Cathedral Senior School. 1965, in the leafy green enclave of Malabar Hill, the Cathedral Infant School was founded, and in 2004, the Cathedral Pre-Primary School was established in the outhouse and parish hall of St. Thomas's Cathedral, a tranquil place in the heart of Mumbai, much loved by little children. History had come full circle. Gilder, among the first of a long line of remarkable schoolmasters, he gave the school its early form, supervising just 40 children at Rampart Row.
Mary Prescott, a passionate advocate of education for the girl child. Undaunted by circumstances, she taught Cathedral's girl students in tents on the Esplanade.
Dr. Evans, he oversaw the school as it grew fourfold to 175 students.
Thomas Arthur Savage, a reformist and the longest-serving principal in the history of the school. In the Savage years, the diocesan coat of arms was adopted as school emblem. Savage culled the motto Clarium Efficient Studia from the writings of Sir Francis Bacon. He also built a chapel for quietude, reflection, a place for repentant students. Now restored, young cathedralites converge here for calm before a tough comprehensive.
Colonel W.H. Hammond, Savage's confident successor redefined the school's destiny. He proposed and drove the amalgamation of the Scottish High School, the John Connon High School, and the Cathedral School for Boys and Girls. Thus, the Cathedral and John Connon School came into being. The Anglican bishop's mitre was complemented by the Scottish White Cross of St Andrews. Palmer, Barham, Savage, and Wilson House have Colonel Hammond to thank for the comradeship and energetic rivalry they enjoyed and still remember while at school.
LMS Bruce, custodian of the school in a time of conflict.
Bernard Gunnery, effortless navigator of the post-Raj era, he transformed Cathedral into a more inclusive, more Indian institution. In his words, "We are an international school, an Indian school where foreigners are at home, a Christian school which children of any faith can call their own." The school produced Bombay state toppers, Harvard scholarship awardees, one each year. Students gained admission to medical colleges, the Indian Institutes of Technology, Cambridge, Oxford, and Stanford.
Zoe Bebbington, the most famous old girl who gave back to the school.
Reverend George Ridding, admired for his imagination and unorthodox ways. On his revolutionary watch, the school became co-educational. The boys' school song became the school song, and the girls' school song became the school hymn.
Kuruvilla Jacob, compassionate, thoughtful, scholarly. Remarkably, he could empathize with and even embrace the free-spirited generation of the 70s. This familiar school diary was introduced by him to help Cathedral students navigate frenzied days that encompassed chemistry, social service, debates, and basketball.
Colonel Eric Simeon, tough, direct, uncompromising. A strong advocate of extracurricular activities, the school magazine Cathedral News was started, and also the system of scholars and games badges.
D.E.W. Shaw. His legacy was to make leadership appointments more broad-based. Choosing the head boy, head girl, house captains and prefects stopped being the sole prerogative of the principal as Shaw moved to a nomination system.
Mr. T. Thomas, not a principal, but a true warrior of and for the Cathedral and John Connon School. Chairman of the Board of Governors in two spells, from 1974 and then from 1990, Mr. Thomas is possessed with a fierce energy and the drive to get things done. From the appointment of school councillors and the transition to the 10+2 system, to the major restoration and renovation of the school buildings and the church, Mr. Thomas's vision and tireless zeal have put the institution on a strong footing for many, many more centuries.
And finally, Mrs. Meera Isaacs, the first lady principal of the Cathedral and John Connon School. Known for her strong ideals, passion for the institution, and driven approach to work. Her formidable presence is palpable across the classrooms and corridors. She exemplifies commitment to the community. The only way to help yourself is by helping others, she says. Under her, the school supports an expanding number of causes. Voice, Yuva, St. Joseph's Home, Save the Children, the Tata Memorial Hospital, Asha Dan, SOS Children's Village, Alert India, the Learning Resource Centre, a project close to Mrs. Isaac's heart, and the residential Cathedral Vidya School reflect her ability to respond creatively to new educational challenges, underscoring its belief that a multitude of talents, not grades alone, take children to heights of excellence.
A school's purpose is to build generations of impassioned leaders, responsible citizens, caring and committed parents. Cathedral strives to do this in classrooms, in the quad, in sports fields, on the stage, in music rooms, art rooms and gymnasia. Cathedralites learn to build teams, collaborate, to win and lose. They learn to trust and they learn to hope.
Cathedral's holistic approach prepares children for life. It also promotes the necessary objective of academic excellence and recognition in a competitive world. Cathedral School's teachers are the embodiment of its liberal and enlightened values. No wonder that in 2002, Mrs. Ketaki Mazumdar won the President of India's National Award for Teachers. And in 2004, Mrs. Meera Isaacs received the same honor from the country's highest office. recognition of both the school's progressive philosophy of education as well as of the individual excellence of its teachers.
The words of Lord Gore Booth, chief guest at a cathedral school speech day in the 19th century, have special meaning. The only way to justify the privilege of this tiny minority is for those privileged few to excel and to serve the many.
Long after they've stored away their report cards and school leaving certificates, cathedral alumni keep their luminous legacy alive, committing themselves to the school's mission of leadership, scholarship and character. This then is the pledge they make when they sing the school hymn, to build from age to age an undefiled heritage.